Hey people, this is DJ.
And this is Ish.
And
this is
season
season
4
4 of Better Let Me Tell You. Ooh, whatever I want.
Yeah, anytime.
What do I want? Well, what do you think I want?
I mean, that's a loaded question.
And on that note, welcome to episode 160. No, DJ is not on estrogen. This is our beautiful
that's
guest
quite the
host,
change.
one of our favorite guest hosts, Stephanie. You know, I'm gonna say it right now. I never really remember how to pronounce your last name.
Oh, that's okay.
It's-
I'm like Cher. You don't need to.
It's Stephanie.
Yeah.
That's it. Steph. Actually,
Yeah,
screw it.
that's
That's
fine.
even
Let's
more
do
so.
that. Yeah. I can be Cher, Madonna. Let's go with that. We don't need it.
All of it. So, thank you for joining me this
Of
week.
course. Thanks for having
It's
me.
a
I love
pleasure.
to be here.
I love having you, on, and we get to talk shit and just have a blast. And it's nice. It's nice having.
I feel like I've seen you a lot this
week,
and I'm very happy about it. And I'm gonna see you, I think, like 3 more times this week.
Yeah, well, like, definitely one more time this week. Well,
Yeah.
kinda. Like,
Maybe?
it's because it's on a Monday.
Okay,
So,
but
like-
then I'm also gonna see you Wednesday.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my God. Thank you for reminding me to
No
plug
problem.
the trivia night at Beat
I
Culture.
didn't want to do it for you, but yes.
Thank you. I completely forgot, and I should
No,
definitely
it's
be
what
plugging
I'm
it.
here for.
It's one of the many reasons we love you.
I mean, I'm nothing if I'm not like organized and scheduled. I mean, it's
This is
it's
true.
almost like I do it professionally.
It's almost like you have a company called Events by You.
Oh yeah. Look at the segue into that.
Which
plug.
everyone should follow on Instagram for, not just great ideas, but for reasons you should hire her.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, that's right. Trivia, Beat Culture.
Yes.
This week it'll be a little bit of everything. The themes are going to be Father's Day, the Olympics, Pride, and Summer. So we got 4 rounds, 4 themes. Hope to see everybody there. So
I'll be there.
That's right.
You
Yes.
can come meet me.
Oh my God, no, I'm even more excited now. I mean, I'm
I
excited
feel
because
like
I'm
when
hosting.
but at the end of the day, like once we're done with everything, I feel like I've seen you more times within the span of like 10 days than I've seen you like
in the span of a year. Thanks, COVID. And then we'll go without seeing each other for like 2 months or something like that.
No, it's not gonna happen. I'm
Okay,
not gonna
good.
let it happen.
Good. Yay.
'Cause I love you and I need to have you in my life at all
That makes
times.
me so happy.
But I also text you like 4 times a day.
That's
at
true. Like,
minimum,
yeah, like
so.
literally there's times during the day where we're just like see random ass things. I'll just see like a leaf and I'll just
Yeah.
be like, oh my God, this totally looks like a housewife. Like, and it's, because
Oh
it's.
my God, the
it's-
image of Kylie Minogue is buried into this piece of toast.
Don't eat it. Just save it
No,
for me.
you
That's
sell
all
that
I
shit on
ask.
eBay.
So one of the reasons that we're going to see each other this week is because you and I are going to go see In the Heights.
Yes.
And
We made a pact.
we did make a pact.
You made a pact so we made a pact on Saturday during my birthday dinner because
Yes.
we feel unofficially partially responsible for the beginning of COVID because at the end of 2019 we went to see Cats.
We're sorry, America.
And I feel like that was the beginning of the end. Like that was like the butterfly effect of
It wasn't the start of something good.
No.
Let's put it that way.
But
No.
think of it in the sense of like the butterfly effect where, like that little thing.
Yes,
sparked-
and we went to see it with Ashton Kutcher, so that's also
Right.
why it's like the butterfly effect. Yeah,
So now I feel like it's our thing now that we have to like see all the musicals together.
and we have to see good ones now to redeem
Yeah, no,
to
for sure.
redeem that.
Well, there's 3 this year.
Well, there's In the Heights.
Right. There's In the Heights. There's Dear Evan Hansen
Dear Evan
in
Hansen, that's
September
right.
and West Side Story in December.
So then there's actually 4 because I don't know what platform it's going to be on, but everybody's talking about Jamie
Oh,
is
you're
coming
right.
out,
You're
and
right.
I will figure that out, and we will see that together. I don't think it's going to be in a theater.
No, but that's fine. We'll do a
But
movie night.
we'll do movie night.
That's
But
fine.
no, the reason I brought up In the Heights, aside from the fact that it's In the Heights, is every so often, we're Hispanic.
Uh-huh.
Every so often, a movie will come out that everybody will kind of galvanize behind and kind of say like, this is gonna be the Latino movie that makes everybody take notice, of the Latino audience and Latinos, and this is gonna be the groundbreaker and this, that, and the other. So far the reviews have been fantastic.
It's 99% fresh.
On-
last I
yeah.
checked. And I've been just seeing the rumblings that it's going to be like, not even the Latino movie, but just like the movie of the summer.
Right,
like, it's
right.
like what everybody's anticipating. It's the big summer movie, which like it's about fucking time.
Right. Thank you for the segue.
So, I'm super excited about it. I have loved that show for years.
I've never actually seen it on stage.
I've seen it on stage a few times. If I feel like anybody that's had any kind of immigrant experience, not necessarily a Hispanic immigrant experience, but anybody that's had an immigrant experience can relate to this, because it's about like, it's about your community. It's about your block, your whatever, your bubble. Yeah. And I think most ethnic groups in general have that.
In one way or
like,
another.
Sense of community, that sense of preserving your culture in a place where everyone's trying to do the same thing, trying to like just to keep up with, and like not lose yourselves in assimilation and whatever. So I love the story. Remember, just keep in mind that musicals are one of my parameters for showing emotion.
Okay, fair enough.
So I might be a hot mess.
Oh, I plan on crying.
Yeah.
If I cry at the trailer, I'm gonna cry at the movie.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Like, I mean, let's just call that out loud right now. Like,
yeah. So I'll bring like a roll of toilet paper with us.
Right.
If you want.
No, but you said something that like it's looking like it's not just gonna be like the Latino movie, right? But like the movie of the summer. Do you think that that's going to be the case? And do you think that that's going to have some type of impact? Because again, I look at it as like every time, one of these movies comes out, like we trot out, poor John Leguizamo comes out and, he's just like, yes, it's about time.
He's done so much for him.
No, he has, but I almost feel bad for him because every time these movies come out, it's like it's like they bring him out so he can be like, this is, it's the next big thing and we've got to galvanize and that, and not to use what might not be an apples to apples, but you do have the quote unquote black movies,
right,
which always find that black audience. For better or worse, I mean, you could create the argument that the Medea movies are broad appeal,
right,
but they do have the base in the black community and things like that. Every time a Hispanic movie, quote unquote Hispanic movie comes out, it doesn't seem to happen, right? The way that people, for whatever reason, expect it to. And I know that we can make the argument it's because Latinos are not a monolith and people want to just say, well, it's a Mexican story, so Colombians are going to love it. It's like, well, they could. I mean, I don't see why not. Ultimately, it's a similar story, but it's not the same thing. Do you think the fact that this is a multi-Latino story, because, just in the cast alone, you have... Daphne is I can say that because we're BFFs.
We have a first name basis with her.
Hello. She told us that she wears the Pero Let Me Tell You Lechon Life shirt that we send her to go to sleep.
Oh.
She said it's her favorite shirt to go to sleep in, and damn it, that means I'm on a first name basis with Daphne Rubin Vega.
Listen, I'm with you.
She's Panamanian, half Panamanian. Lin-Manuel is Puerto Rican. Anthony Ramos, I think, is Puerto Rican. Jimmy Smith. So you've got Dasha Polanco in there, who I think she's Dominican. I think La Señora who plays Abuela Claudia.
She's Cuban.
I don't know if she's Cuban, but the character's Cuban.
No, but she is Cuban, and she's the original Broadway Abuela.
Oh, she is
okay.
Yes. And do you think that may be the...
It may be that. I think it also has to do... I think the broad appeal with this... It's funny, like, as I was thinking about this as you were talking, like... So Lin-Manuel's career started really within the Heights. This is kind of what launched him into the stratosphere, and as far as the theater world goes, because nobody really knew who he was before that. Do I need to get closer?
No,
sorry.
You're fine.
Nobody really knew who he was, and then like that show kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah, it really did.
And kind of just like slapped everybody in the face, and which like propelled him to like eventually do Hamilton, and Hamilton got so popular.
And
Hamilton,
Bring It On.
Yeah, they had the Bring It On and the Bring It On in between. But I don't think it's like the full circle moment in the sense that like had the things happen backwards and In the Heights been picked up first, because In the Heights has been back and forth within production for
since
years,
like the day after it debuted on Broadway.
Yeah. So I think had this come out before the Hamilton of it all, it wouldn't have made the impact that I think it's going to make. Just because
the multiculturalism of Hamilton kind of bleeds itself into In the
and
Heights.
I think that that's like we've come to expect a certain level of art from Lin-Manuel at this point, and I think that like raising those bars is really what's going to like make this relatable for a lot of people. I think, in my opinion, I think to go back to the point that I was making about like just cultures and like I think
Right.
all like a ton of ethnicities are gonna be able to relate to this. The director is John M. Chu, who did Crazy Rich Asians.
This is true. He's an
And
Asian director.
He's an Asian director. I loved Crazy Rich
That was
Asians.
such a good movie.
I related on like a hardcore level to Crazy Rich Asians.
And I am not Asian, nor am I rich.
Well, I'm a little Asian, believe it or not. Like
Oh, okay. I'm just a little crazy.
yeah, no.
Okay. All right.
I'm a little Asian. My this is 100% a true story. I know people like do not ever believe me when I say this, but it's true. My dad's grandfather was from China.
Oh, I
He was
believe it.
Yeah, so I have a whole part of my family that's Chinese Cuban.
Oh, actually, there's a pretty. I mean, I don't know about now, but for a while there,
Yeah.
there was a substantial
There
Chinese
was.
community in Cuba.
There was so, and my grandfather was my
Part of it,
great grandfather. Sorry, was part of all of that.
Mm-hmm.
So in a tiny sense, I was able to appreciate it for that. But it was that I bring that story up in general because that was just like a rom-com.
Yeah,
It
that
was
just
a
happened to
regular
have
rom-com
Asian
that just happened
representation.
to be like all
Yeah.
Asian, had an all Asian cast.
Right.
And there's nobody that doesn't relate to those kinds of things. And I think that that's kind of what this is going to do.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's going to be like, everybody's going to be able to relate to like having your family or your created family, because In the Heights isn't only about like your family, it's about your created family.
Right.
And that's something that I hold very valuable to myself in my life. I'm very like territorial when it comes to the people that I've chosen to be in my life. So that's something that really,
Yes, you
really,
are. I was at your birthday party.
it really resonates with me. And obviously, like, I also like want to appreciate this on a broader sense, that the respect that just musicals as a genre have gotten over the years, in the last maybe 5 years specifically, it's really, really grown. And yeah, you're gonna, and there's always like your Broadway purists or your theater purists that are like, oh my god, the movie ruins everything or whatever. It's like,
But it's like people who, the book was better, right? It's
exactly.
the same
And I'm
mentality.
like, if it's, I've always been of the thought, the school of thought that's like, if it's gonna introduce people to the medium that would have never have,
Then let's have it.
that it would have never had taken
Yeah.
a look at this before, then why not?
Yeah.
Just because and I understand like not wanting like posers or new people or whatever to like intrude
I'm
on
guilty
something
of that
you've-
from a geek culture perspective
I
sometimes.
get it.
So,
I get it.
I get
And
it.
I kind of, and I've been guilty of that myself. But in the same sense of like, I remember a couple of years ago when like the Rent live musical like was like kind of a little bit of a dumpster fire. I
quoting.
still enjoyed it because I love that show. And I don't think there's any
right.
version of that show that I'll ever not like. But I kind of in the back of my mind felt the same way. I was like, it wasn't the best, but this opened it up to a lot of people that may not have like cared otherwise.
Yeah, I mean, and in all fairness, the Rent Live was a dumpster fire through no fault of its own.
Right.
Because that was the rehearsal.
Right, exactly.
So, I mean, it is what it is.
So I'm just, I'm appreciative of the fact that like, I really think that there's two musicals. Two of the musicals coming up this year are centered around Hispanic people.
Yeah.
There are real Hispanic people playing real Hispanic people.
This time around, yes.
In both
Yeah.
versions. And I just like, let's take the W at this point and just like
Yeah.
run with it.
No, it's listen, thank you. It's, representation. It's a little sad that we'll take it in any way we can, right? As we've said, but when it's authentic, I'll take it in any way I can.
Yeah. And one of the things that is always like about Hispanic or Latino culture in general is that people think that everybody is like needs to look a certain way to be Latino, and
Right.
people don't realize that like I don't look Hispanic.
You're light-eyed and blonde.
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't look. I never have.
I love that you flipped your hair as I said blonde. By the way, I don't think I didn't notice.
I know a lot of people that don't quote unquote look like they're supposed to look, and
Right.
that are Cuban or Puerto Rican or Venezuelan. There's a ton of Venezuelans, Colombians, South Americans that are blonde hair, blue eyed, whatever.
Yeah.
So it just In the Heights' cast is gonna reflect that. So I hate to like, this is gonna sound so stupid. This is gonna sound so stupid and like privileging.
Well, now
and
I can't
don't
wait.
mean it in this way, but it's like, when I was acting and when I was like actively pursuing things, it's like I always felt like I could never really go out for like the Latina roles because I'm not like who's gonna cast me to be
right. You're not the quote unquote spicy Latina.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like, so I have to like battle all these like skinny white girls to try to get like these white girl roles.
Those damn white girls.
You know. So I mean, so I'm sorry if that comes off like privilegey. I don't mean it that way in any way.
No,
shape,
but
or
I
form.
think, and you know, of course, obviously, if you look a certain way, you're going to be able to fit in certain areas and be able to move in
Right.
certain spaces. But to your point, it's the bigger point is like, you know,
we're not a monolith. We
we're
don't
not,
all look the same.
We're not a monolith. We all don't look the same. And, you know, you could say that even of, you know, like even black culture, right? Where it's like, well, if you're very dark skinned or you're very light skinned, you know, which one makes you black, right? Well, it's not the color of your skin. It's not the color of your hair. It's not the color of your eyes. It's, you know, it's the culture of it. I mean, yes, there are certain appearances to be had in the sense, but a light-skinned black person is just as black as the black skin. But you know, I mean, and so on.
So I'm excited. I'm excited.
As you should be. As you should be. Did you hear about what happened to La Pobre Kimmy Schmidt?
I did. That was actually one of the things that I wanted to bring up.
Well, then I will pass the mic to you.
Kimmy Schmidt, I don't know how I La Pobre Kimmy Schmidt I feel about this.
She was almost broken, unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. You know
Yeah.
what? I'm on her side.
I'm on her side because of
So
the.
I guess let's give a little background, but
Go ahead.
Well, I'll give the Cliff Notes version because I was actually looking for it. I thought I had bookmarked it. So, Ellie
Kepner. Kepner is April Kepner from Grey's Anatomy. Never mind. Ellie
the star of the Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. Ellie.
I just brought it up.
Kemper. So when she was about 19 years old, and she's in her 30s now. So we're talking. I mean, this was a while back. It's not like it was 19 and she's 22 or anything like that. She went to one of those debutante ball type things. She went to the
crown the queen of the debutante
ball.
ball.
But you don't know you're going to be a queen until you get there. I'm assuming, right? Like,
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's like I've never been to a debutante ball. I only did one coming out, and it wasn't like that.
Yeah.
So she went there. She was crowned the queen and what have you. Well, it turns out that the organization that sponsored that ball has like very racist and just
Like
white,
KKK ties.
like KKK ties and this and that. And so I think somebody found the picture of her and posted it and basically was calling her out on it and all this. And, you know, she came out and she said, look, I was 19 at the time. I didn't know what the organization was about. I wanted to go to the debutante ball. I went, I was crowned queen. You know, she's like, ignorance is no excuse.
Right.
But it is what it is. You know, she's like, obviously I'm not a racist. I'm not like a card carrying member of the KKK. And then Titus Burgess came to her defense.
What I appreciated about her apology in general is, and I pulled it up, is she didn't like, they had the standard like PR like apology when things like this happen, but there was something like extra that was put in there that I don't know if it was like a PR thing or if this is genuine or whatever, but I appreciate the ownership in this sense because not many people say this. She says there is a very natural temptation when you become the subject of internet criticism to tell yourself that your detractors are getting it all wrong. At some point last week, I realized a lot of the forces behind the criticism are forces that I've spent my life supporting and agreeing with. So I feel like she's kind of taking responsibility for like the things that she may have naturally just grown up being okay with for ignorance or lack of better education or whatever it may be, and then continued to defend despite maybe learning things little by little. Because I feel I like the cancel culture thing it's very real in the sense of like
that was my question. Like the person who posted this picture, okay, what did you want to happen? Like what was your goal?
To cancel
her and for what? To cancel, like, I mean, because it's not like we're talking about, you know, they're canceling Angelina Jolie. You know what I mean? Like, so you had nothing else to do in your day but to pull out an old ass picture of some girl, you know, from like 20 some odd years ago. For what?
Right.
For what? Like, what is your end goal?
Right.
You know?
No, I'm with you. And to a certain extent, there are things that could be like applied to the cancel culture thing that like do kind of have little bit of a point of no return situation. I mean, but for the most part, I think people are allowed to like learn and grow.
You have to.
So
if not, what's the point?
Right. So like I said, there's certain things that like in my opinion are unforgivable, and there's certain people that like can't come back from things. But in this situation, again, I don't know where that like.
I just don't think a 19-year-old, like I'm thinking back to when I was 19, like, and maybe you know it was a different time.
Yeah.
If I was going to a party or an event or whatever, like I didn't necessarily, and unless I'm showing up and there's crosses burning on the lawn, right? Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna think that far ahead, right? Because if I'm not that type of person, why I wouldn't think that I'm being invited to an event like that,
right?
You know what I mean?
And but that's, I think, just to kind of, not to play devil's advocate, 'cause I hate that fucking phrase, but that's kind of one of the pillars of white privilege, is that like you would never think that, like it would never occur to you to think something like that. And I think in Ellie Kemper's situation, it didn't really like occur to her because it didn't, being 19 is no excuse, and being 19 20 years ago is very different from being 19 now, where the 19-year-olds now know about all this shit.
Yeah, it's in your pocket, all this information.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's easier to be aware of those things now than it was 20 years ago.
But I mean, okay, from a white privilege perspective, I guess there's that. But even now at this age, and maybe I'm just tremendo como mierda, but like, if somebody, this is partly true, but like if somebody invited me to some event, and I get there, and the day after or whatever, I found out that the event is anti-gay, right? Anti-LGBTQ, whatever letter people.
Alphabet Mafia.
The Alphabet Mafia. Thank you. Because it wouldn't dawn on me that it's like, okay, somebody who knows that I'm gay, who knows I have a boyfriend, that they would invite me to an event that's hosted by that type of organization. I would never stop to think about it, because it's like, if you know me and you know who I am, why would you invite me to something with those ties?
Right.
So even from that perspective, at the age of 42, almost, it wouldn't dawn on me to question that if I'm going to an event.
No,
if I'm invited to an event, better said.
No, and for the most part, like I think most people wouldn't, unless it was pointed out to them like mid-event or the next day or whatever. So I mean, the best that we can do, and those kinds, and the other part of it is that we hold, and I to some degree I agree that we should hold them to
people in the public eye,
but people in the public eye are held to like a completely different standard, and sometimes very unrealistic standards, and they're not perfect. They're just people like everybody else, and they feel all the same things. They
stumble the same way we do.
Yeah, and they make mistakes or whatever. And I feel like a lot of times we just kind of like think that they're these like demigods that are like infallible, and they never, and to a certain degree, you can kind of say that they need to be a little bit more careful about the things they do, and need to be more like cognizant of those kinds of things. But like also like if you're one of these like think of the children people and that kind of thing, like you're responsible. This is the argument I have with people get like all fed up with Cardi B, and people start getting it's like Cardi B is not like, these people are not responsible.
She's not a role model.
She's not responsible for, none of these people are responsible for raising your children.
Right.
So none of these people are responsible for teaching. Do they have influence? Absolutely.
But you as a parent should as well.
Do people have access to kids, and people in general have access to finding all these things? Absolutely. But you also like have control over what your people, your bubble, whatever sees.
This is a public service announcement from the organization Fathers Who Want Better Gifts.
Hey all, DJ here. On behalf of all the dads this Father's Day, I'm here to say we want better gifts. We want better gifts. Come on, we all love being the best dad, but do we really need a mug telling us so? Or better yet, a tie. Thanks to quarantine, people are barely wearing pants, much less formal wear. Come on. But you know what makes a great gift? A pair of the perfect jeans. No, that's really their name. The Perfect Jean. These soft, stretchy, and durable jeans come in several fits and use high-quality materials and techniques. And let's face it, most of us dads gained a few pounds during COVID, so we could use a little room in our pants these days. And the best thing about giving the perfect jeans for Father's Day, you can save cash while doing it. Visit theperfectjean.nyc today and use pero20 for 20% off your first order. That's right. Dad will be proud you saved 20% using pero20 on his gift. So this Father's Day, get your perfect dad or dad figure, the perfect gene, and use code pero20 for 20% off your first order. Happy Father's Day.
Well, okay, I'm actually gonna say it because you're a mom.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, they're an adorable little kid.
Thank you.
Obviously, there's outside influences.
Mm-hmm.
As much as you police, right? As much as you limit screen time and all that stuff. Again, I don't have children. I'm using phrases I've heard people say. But how do you strike that balance, right? Because it's
not easy. I have a kid who's super tech savvy and like has ordered $500 worth of shit on Amazon for himself before. Like I have that kind of kid.
What did he order?
A bunch of toys.
Were they fun? I want some.
It was like all stuffed animals and he really loves like plush stuffed animals.
Aww.
So that's he during quarantine, and I blame it on quarantine. Excuse me, during quarantine.
Damn COVID.
He had like ordered himself. He had put it on
So
the
this was
cart.
recent.
Yeah, like a year ago. He had put it in the cart. And then like we got notifications because David, like the Amazon account linked to David's phone. So he was like, he got all these notifications. All of this was shipping. So that's how we found out. Fortunately, we were able to cancel almost everything. But yeah, homeboy ordered him. So I have like that kind of kid, right?
Okay.
So
I think that's just taking initiative.
He can unlock our phones. I found him once, like while David was like we like to take naps.
Who doesn't?
We're as grown-as adults who like to take naps, and I found him one time. Like I'm a bad sleeper, so I don't like sleep consistently to begin with. And I found him one time like grabbing David's phone from the nightstand and like holding it to his face to like unlock the phone.
Wow.
Yeah. He's a sneaky bastard.
He's a smart kid.
Yeah. He's a sneaky motherfucker. But so all of that to say, he's constantly on YouTube, like
of course,
watching like Among
like
Us tutorials and watching, these children have this fascination with watching people play video games.
I don't understand.
I don't get it either, but that's okay. There's things that we liked as kids that our parents didn't understand. That's kind of the perspective that I always try to keep in mind.
That's fair, but at least our things were actually still interacting with people, like not just watching people do the fun thing.
Yeah, I get that. No, I'm with you. I don't understand it, but whatever. And I'm not the kind of person that I need to be friends with my kid.
Okay.
I don't.
That's important.
Because I definitely think that there needs to be like
a line for
sure. But I do want to have
a good relationship.
I want to have a good relationship and I want to have like open communication with him. I don't want him to feel like he can never not come to us for something, because I felt that way growing up a lot of times, especially with my mom. Not to get like super deep about it, because I don't want to.
Yeah,
but
you're going to be on the Dr. Phil podcast next week.
That's a different podcast. Yeah. But my mom and I like have always butted heads. We don't really get along. So to this day, we still like whatever. It is what it is at this point. But because I've learned to just deal with it. But
as you creep up on 40, right?
Shut the fuck up. That's so rude. I am barely 35. Wow.
I had to. That was the thing last week. They were like, you're closer to 40 than you were to 30. And she was like, how dare you?
That is the second time I'm on a podcast and somebody says that to my face.
At least it's not behind your back.
No, that's true. You're right. So anyway, I just kind of want there to always be like, I'm the kind of person that like when he gets older, like I'm the kind of mom that's like, I will pick up all your friends and take you guys where you want to go, and I'll pick you guys up and I'll take everybody home. Like, I don't care. I'd rather do that. I'm not the like, I'd rather you drink in the house kind of thing either, 'cause I'm not going to do that shit. You're a cool mom. I'm not that cool mom, but like I'd rather do that and like know like ish what you're doing. Like you can
have an idea of what's going on.
Have an idea what's going on. I'm not gonna stalk you. I'm not gonna sit behind you at the movie theater. I'm not gonna do that
unless it's a musical.
Then that's a whole separate, whatever. But I just want there to be I don't want there to be something that he doesn't think would be like okay to tell me.
You don't have to hide
no matter
things.
what it is. I don't want to have to hide things.
And he will.
I'm sure.
We all.
I'm sure. I'm not like
Yeah.
in that unrealistic.
Yeah,
thing
we all have our
either.
things.
But in as far as monitoring things, like you have to stay on top of it because there's no other way. Like you have to be aware of it. So there's no other way because I remember. I mean, I see it now with like his friends. Like I remember that there were friends of mine growing up, not even friends of mine, but just kids in school that were like watching movies at like 7 that they shouldn't have been watching, and like there's kids in his class that like curse at their age. They're in first grade.
Really?
Yeah, they had to have a conference. Wow. They had to have a conference with a kid because the kid said, "Oh man," they told me what he said and I can't remember what it was. But the kid said something like really bad.
Like not even like fuck off. It was like
I think I want to say he called someone like motherfucker or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
In first grade.
In first grade. So there's things like that, and like we curse in the house. But he knows it's like, this is what you say here, and if you say it at
do
school,
as I say, not as I do.
No, not even do as I do, because he's asked us. He's like, "Oh, can I say a bad word?"
Right.
And I'm like, "Okay, you can say it as long as it stays here." There are certain conversations and certain things that we say, and we always establish like this is like a home discussion.
Okay, the
This is a home
parameters.
conversation. This is not something that you take to school.
Right.
And we tell him like, if we hear it come from school, we will not have any, whatever.
Okay.
Because I want, again, it's building that trust. So by building that trust, like if I tell him something, I expect him, like the expectation is that I'm trusting you with this, so that one day, so that one of the things that I kind of experienced growing up was like I was never really like told anything when I was a kid.
What do you mean?
And as far as like family stuff or when something was happening or something was going on, like, and that's a very like old school mentality of like los niños no dejan saber, los niños, like, and I hated it. Like, number one, I'm super chimosa, so whatever. I needed to know what was going on at all times. But number two, like, I just wanted to know. Like, I just wanted to know what was happening because it was important to me to know what was happening. And then when David and I started dating, they were the type of people that tell them their kids everything. So it was like,
really?
Yeah, they tell their kids, like, they always knew everything that was going on with everybody, like, whatever.
They were super informed
about everything. So it was like a slap in the face. I'm like, wait, there are parents that do this? And my in-laws are not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. But in that sense, I really admired that.
Right.
I really admired that. So I kind of always kept that, like, it's kind of always stayed with me that I want to make sure that I establish trust from very early on, because I don't want there to be a situation where he's in trouble or needs something or did something fucked up or whatever, and he can't come to me with it. So that's
where you're
where I come from. I'm not a regular mom. I'm a cool
You're
mom.
a cool mom. I'd rather you do it in the house.
No, I'm not gonna do it either because I'm not gonna get sued. So.
No, that's the biggest reason not to do it.
Yeah,
it's like,
really. I really
forget the drinking part of it, right?
I don't care. Like, we can go to Europe.
Something happens with that kid.
Yeah, I remember being in Europe at 10 years old and having glasses of wine at dinner.
Yeah.
So I'm totally
in Europe,
like,
it's fine.
Yeah,
right.
Here,
no.
I just don't want to get sued.
Nope, because that kid walks out the door and something happens.
Nope.
Nay.
Nope.
No.
Not today, Satan.
Not today, Satan.
Not today.
In the immortal words of Bianca Del Rio. So it's funny you bring, we kind of segued into raising a kid, because you definitely want to raise a good kid, and not what I'm going to go ahead and call a rather entitled child.
Oh, okay.
You don't definitely want to be one of the people who tweets. You don't want to raise one of the kids who tweets, "This is the worst day of my life."
Oh boy.
After reports that Starbucks would put orders for 25 items on a temporary hold due to ongoing supply issues.
Look,
because este es el año of the shortages.
Listen.
As we've said many times, chicken wings. There was a waffle shortage at a restaurant. There's shortages of, popular items and ingredients like chai tea bags, ice green tea, hazelnut syrup, and toffee nut syrup are affected. According to an internal memo viewed by Business Insider, production took a brief pause starting June 4th until the supply rebounds. So we're having an issue. We're having supply issues across the board. As we know, our big one is chicken wings.
They also are having an oat milk shortage. I'm a recent convert to oat milk.
You like to drink cereal milk?
Yeah, it's actually really good.
It's kind of not.
It kind of is.
No,
okay, so
because no matter what you put that milk in, it's going to taste like cereal.
But if you put it in cereal, it's really good.
Okay, yeah, but if I'm using it to bake or if I'm using it for other things.
So I actually use
or coffee. I don't want my coffee to taste like cereal.
I use it in coffee, and you know what? I used it in the other day. I used it in waffle batter. I used it to make waffle batter.
And it tasted like cereal.
No, it tasted really fucking good.
I don't believe you.
Hold on. Listen, in defense of Gen Z. So I am...
Before we go down the oat milk route.
It's going to get there, I promise. So listen, I was one of these people, and Darian will tell you, we were like on the anti-TikTok train for like ever. We were like, not gonna do it. Like, this is so stupid. We're too old for this shit. Like,
esos bailes estúpidos.
we were not gonna do it. We're not gonna do it. We're not gonna do it. And then like, people started sending me TikTok videos, like either through my Instagram or through
WhatsApp
or like text or whatever. And I'm like, all right, let me see what the fuss is about. So I signed up for a TikTok, and I have not looked back. That being said, on TikTok, first of all, I feel like I have a PhD in life at this point, because I feel like I have learned more in these last couple of months on TikTok than I ever have in school. I swear to God. I've learned more about...
I can't say I'm very big on TikTok, so I've been on it, I've seen videos, but I'm not on it.
I encourage you to just kind of like, just sit for
embrace
it for like half an hour and see like what it does. Just check it like once a day.
Okay.
I promise you will end up like my husband, who spends 2 hours in bed every night laughing himself stupid at TikTok. So that's number one. One of the things that TikTok has taught me is like, they come up with all these like different recipes for different like restaurants. So they come up with like, there are specific Starbucks drinks that are like the TikTok drinks. And one of the ones that
What do you mean? So like
the pink drink, for example, which was like a big one, that it's like the strawberries.
Is this like when like the unicorn thing?
Right,
okay,
kind of stuff like that. The pink drink is probably the most popular one. But I feel like it's like whatever they put in the strawberry acai refresher, but they put that with coconut milk. Ooh. I don't care for like fruity stuff, but David tried it and said it was amazing. Right. One of the things that I was introduced to was the cookie butter latte, which has like half the things that you just said in it. So it has...
So that's on pause right now, I'm sure.
Yeah. So it legit tastes like you are drinking liquid cookie butter.
So then this is something that like somebody on TikTok...
Yes.
created and said like, when you go to Starbucks, tell them to give you this.
Starbucks barista, but yes, I saved the recipe.
Right. But I'm saying right. It's a regular person, shall we say?
Yeah.
Who just said, when you go to Starbucks, tell them to do this much this.
Yeah.
And that then has become a drink.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a chai tea. It's an iced chai tea latte.
I just explained that, and I literally just felt like my father. Because I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I have to understand this and take it like step by step.
Okay, boomer.
Yeah, seriously.
So yeah, it's like a chai tea. It's like an iced chai tea latte made with oat milk with like brown sugar syrup and sweet cream vanilla foam. Okay. It's amazing. I don't ever want to drink anything else, but it's been like they haven't been able to make it in like weeks because of all the shortages. So there we go. There was my
but the fact that they had to write an article about this and people were like, I mean, how much of it is people being exagerado for effect, and how much of it is people being like,
oh, for sure, like
oh my god,
listen, I'm a hoe for Starbucks. Yeah. Like I love Starbucks. I think there should be one on every corner. First of all, your property value increases when there's a Starbucks within your radius.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I was gonna stop there on my way over here, but like in the route that I was taking, there was like not one with a drive-through that I could stop at.
There was one on Bird.
But I didn't go that way.
Oh,
okay. That's not what Waze told me to do.
There's one on Bird. There's like 3 on Bird.
Well, the one on Bird and 67th would have been the one, but I didn't take that way because I didn't take the Palmetto up here.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, so to a certain degree, I understand the frustration if it is.
I can't tell you the last time I went to Starbucks.
I go to Starbucks. I mean, I had a nasty Starbucks habit. I had to stop it. It's better now that I don't leave my house so often and I don't have an excuse to go. I just make
the coffee here and
but it was to the point like I was one of those like every morning before work people.
Oh wow, yeah, no,
like spending like $40 a week on Starbucks.
For the last like 2-3 years, I've just been drinking like my coffee black.
Ugh.
So like I, you know,
Why do you hate yourself?
I'll go. It's a long story. No, no, but like I'll go. I mean, I'll go to like a Starbucks or you know whatever coffee shop, and I'll do it. But I find that when I go there now, I'm either doing like a little frap, like a almost like a postre. You know what I mean, like a treat.
Yeah.
Or I'll do like a mocha because
Right.
I don't.
Well,
have
they
it
open
here.
the stores now that you can sit inside.
Oh, they're
now.
they're open again?
Last
Okay.
week I think they opened them. But yeah, I had a bad Starbucks habit, but I've kind of.
You went to SA. And
Yeah, I mean, I don't have time to do it before I take Lincoln to school in the mornings, which is good because like then
It cuts
it
down
would
on
take an extra. I would have to leave my house like 10 or 15 minutes earlier, and trying to get like a child up, like that morning routine, just
so you can
adding
have
one more
just so you can
step-
have coffee.
Yeah,
like
well, adding one more step to it is like not something that I care to do. So, but I get the frustration. Now, is it life ruining and the worst thing that's ever happened to me? Like, baby, like you have so much to learn. You have so much to learn. But when you're that young and that privileged, I mean, I guess maybe, but
if that's your biggest problem, God bless you.
yeah, no, I wish that was my biggest
I
problem.
wish that was the biggest challenge I
Absolutely.
had every day waking up. Like, they don't have my, what is it, cookie butter?
You can't call it a cookie butter latte because I don't know what the hell you're talking about. You have to just like ask for
No, well, yeah, but I'm
the
gonna
ingredients.
call it
But yeah,
that.
my cookie butter latte
this-
that I haven't been able to have in
And this
weeks.
segment was not brought to you by Starbucks.
I wish
You
it
know,
was.
we just, me too. I wish we were making that
Oh my
Starbucks
God,
money.
for real.
Shit.
I wish it was. So, viste que...
Bring it on.
Viste la nombre de la princesa.
Okay, I saw it. It's cute. I was like when they so her name is Lilibet.
Lilibet Diana.
Lilibet Diana. The name is longer than her because she's got like 14 names. When they first said it, I was like, what part of Cuba is that name from?
Lilibet.
I'm like, Lilibet. And like,
Lilibet.
what, like, en que solar, you know, did they go visit and they screamed that name out and Meghan Markle was like, Lilibet, I like that.
Do you watch
know?
The Crown?
I have watched The Crown, yeah.
So the Crown is like that's her.
That's her nickname,
Like
the
family
queen, the
nickname
queen's,
for
yeah,
her?
yeah.
Yeah, the queen's like family nickname for her.
Yeah,
is,
but
like,
but at that, in ese momento, I didn't like.
You didn't make the
the
connection?
switch didn't go off, you know, and I
Yeah.
was like Lilibet. I literally,
Lilibet?
I swear to God, I thought of it like in that accent.
Yeah.
Like that's how I read it. I was like Lilibet Diana.
Yeah.
like I know how ethnic of them to go, you know, to go that route.
So I've never been like one of these people that's like obsessed with the British monarchy.
Me neither.
I
enjoy.
I enjoy the hullabaloo,
achievement,
yeah, and I enjoy the really,
history and all that, yeah.
for sure, all of that because I have a double major and one of them's in history, so and I do enjoy like European monarchy history, but I really have not turned a new leaf, but I guess I really have embraced the Meghan Markle of it because like they're so terrible to her, and
I mean, okay.
and
Do
like,
we know
she's-
that they are so terrible to her? I mean, she's the only one talking.
I don't know that the family is, but the British press is awful.
Oh, the press. Oh, okay. The British press. Yes.
The British press.
Well,
is
but the British
awful.
press is awful to everyone.
Yeah, but they're awful to her.
No, to her, yeah.
specifically.
But I'm saying the British press is known for being just horrible.
Because like prime example, like Princess Charlotte, one of her 15 names is Diana also. So
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's Charlotte Elizabeth Diana. So
Okay, can we pick
oh,
Can we pick new people to name these girls after?
Dude, all these.
someone name it
all
after
these-
Fergie?
all these
I don't know.
people- all these people with crowns all have the same fucking name. It's
Jiminy Christmas.
George and Philip and Louis. Like they all have the same fucking name. All of them, bro. They have like 5 names that they recycle between the generations.
They just keep switching them around. So it's like
Yeah.
you're like Philip Louis, you're Louis Philip.
Exactly.
Yeah, got it.
And that's the way it's been for like thousands of years.
It ain't gonna change now.
It's not gonna change now. But anyway, so it's like this was celebrated when it was the other one, and now that it's this one, like it's like I read a headline
really?
on the Daily. Yeah, I think I read a headline at the Daily Mail that the Queen was upset at the name because that's her. Like that was Philip's like private nickname for her.
Maybe it was his nickname for her badge.
Oh well, you know, I
He'd be like,
I don't want to think about that.
bring me your Lilibet. Put your Lilibet
I
right
don't want
here.
to think about that with those two because like they're first of all they're cousins.
That is also true.
So the whole I mean, I get it. A lot of those people are inbred, but I'm just,
But let's not add nicknames for the badge.
I don't need it.
Yeah.
I don't need it in my life.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I'm gonna
I
put
really
that out
come
there,
to
everybody. That's
appreciate
fact, by the way.
her. I really come to appreciate Megan because she like is kind of not she doesn't. She's trying to not control her, but she's trying to like tell her side of the story, which not a lot of people, which nobody does because you know you can't. And I, if it's not what I've admired most about that, it's that if it doesn't work for you, if it doesn't work for you in your relationship, and you got to move on, and that's what they did.
Absolutely respect that,
and I absolutely respect that because like just because this is going to be controversial, but just because family is not always healthy. There is toxicities in families, and especially when you're on that big of a platform and literally the entire world watches every move they make. Yeah, but so to a degree, I understand why things are the way that they are.
But I would even say like let's remove the family element out of it, right? Like let's say that they all get along as a family, right? Let's say best case scenario, right? And it is the royal. The administration, I don't know what they call them, like, you know, not the family, but
I think
the people,
it is called the administration,
but the people who surround them, right, who are just like just horrible,
the management of it,
right. At the end of the day, when you marry someone, you are pledging your fidelity to that person, you're pledging yourself to that person, and you need to try and make it work. Especially if it's only been like a year and change, like with these two kids, right? Yeah. So, you know, you have to prioritize your relationship and kind of say, you know what? I'm saying, let's say it's the best of scenarios where because I don't know what their world is, but let's say the family does love each other, right? I love you guys, but you know what? I got to see how to make this work. Right. And I'm going to remove myself from this for the sake of my happiness in my marriage. And then maybe 10 years down the line, we'll come back. We'll do... Right. Whatever happens, you know? But I feel like... I
really respect that, though. Because, I respect like, that, a lot absolutely. Of people... I think not a lot of people have the courage to do that within their own families if they see that a situation is not working for them. Yeah. But I
will say, I still feel a little like... And I like Megan. I don't dislike her. And this is not a slam against her. But I do feel at a certain point, on a personal note, like I'm not that person. If you see my Instagram is always like, you know, me at the gym, me having fun, shirtless, whatever. But I will rarely, if ever, post anything quote unquote personal because I feel like my personal life as it isn't really for public consumption. Right. And so that's my only issue with like the whole Meghan and Harry of it all. When you sit down and you call for an interview, because I have to set the record straight. Why? Why do you have to set the record straight? You know what I mean? Like, I understand wanting to tell your side of the story, but at the same time, it's like, I'm of the belief that there's just something to be said for being like, no matter what I say, you're going to talk the madhouse of shit about me that you want. Right. So I'm just going to remove myself from the situation and go about my life and call it a day.
Right. I mean, I think in this specific situation, there's the added trauma of like his mother is dead. And a lot of it has to do with the hubbub of all of that.
Okay, that's fair.
So, and he was like what 8 or 9 when she died. Yeah. He was super young when she died, and he's doing his best to protect her. Right. At the end of the day, so they just happen to be rich and famous and royal and whatever. So it's. I mean. There's also coming from the perspective. There's also coming from the fact that like that is the royals in general are like a very controlled. Oh, it's super like ultra. It's like the old Hollywood system. Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah. There's a lot of criticism in general of that monarchy. Yeah. For years it has been. They're not evolved. It's about the tradition. It's about the tradition. They're not evolved. They don't move into the modern world. They are a waste of money to the British government. There's a whole ton of things. That there's a lot of open criticism about the monarchy, and how they should be abolished or whatever. So that's just it's. I mean, it's a completely different world that I can't even like fathom to begin to try to relate to. But if you have the opportunity to make a statement, and if that's what you want to do, whatever.
No, if that's what you want to do, that so be it. I mean, knock yourself out. Right. But I don't know. For me, it's just one of those like nobody. You don't owe anybody an explanation. I guess that's where I'm coming from.
You don't owe anybody an explanation. You don't, and they could, they don't. They don't owe anybody anything. They could have just disappeared into the night and never been,
Yeah, and just be like, I'm just going to go live in Seattle now and call it a day.
But I don't think that... I think that to some extent... Because they could have done that, so that would lead me to believe that they do kind of want to still be public figures, but they want their own identity. And maybe
that's a little like quiero pero no quiero.
Yeah, quiero pero
which
no
is
quiero.
like, okay,
But
you can't condemn the press and then court them.
You can, because people do.
Right, but...
So, you know, and that's
but at that point, you become a Kardashian.
But that's the whole criticism of that's what a lot of people's criticism about like celebrities in general or famous people in general is like, you chose this is what you want, so you have to like you have to live with it, you have to live with
to an extent.
So to an extent I agree with it, but again, they're people also. She's an actor. So this is what she makes her money off of. She knows how to. She wants to continue to have a career. Like if they're not going to be taking money from the royal family, which they got to make money somewhere. They got to make money somewhere. Yeah. You know, he's going to go be a tech bro apparently.
I think they have a podcast now with Spotify.
Yeah, they got to deal with Netflix. So you know, they still want to be Meghan and Harry. But they want to be Meghan and Harry. They don't want to be...
They want to be lowercase Meghan and Harry.
Yeah, they don't want to be the Duke and Duchess of Sussex.
Right.
So, you know.
Yeah. We can be the Duke and Duchess.
Yeah, but the Duke and Duchess of like what?
La Sabuesera.
A
totally. A wechete. Hello. If any region is calling out for a Duke and Duchess,
it's a wechete.
We can ride down La Cuarenta on a giant cafecito cup. Yeah. Just waving.
Oh my God, yes.
We could throw out those little strawberry candies.
You know I can make it happen.
I know you can. I'm planting the seeds, my dear. Planting the seeds.
That would be like tremendo. Like, why don't we start like Westchester Pride? And
all right, everybody. If you're within the sound of my voice and you can hear this should be a thing that we do.
And that will be like the Grand Marshal float. It's like the giant like cafecito.
I'm just thinking,
do you see how I just like spin
you just created a whole event like
really
right
did.
out off of one suggestion. I'm just picturing it now, like it only goes from like...
It's from like 87th Avenue.
Right. Well, it has
from
to
like
start,
the Palmetto.
It has to start a little right from the Palmetto
to the Turnpike.
Just that corridor right there. Yeah.
Yeah, the Palmetto to the Turnpike along Bird Road. Pots and pans are required.
Because you have to pass by, like, you know, obviously La Carreta, but you also have to pass by Arbetters, and then you have to go
Rio Cristal,
right?
The old Rio Cristal.
Right. Well, no, it's still there. The Rio Cristal.
Oh, they didn't end up closing?
No, they didn't close it. No.
Oh.
No. The daughter bought the parents out.
I did not know that.
Yes, it's still there.
Well, congratulations.
Yes.
Yeah, we got to pass by. By the way, now that you brought up Arbetters, what bigger fucking insults to Arbetters hot dogs
is the Nathan's
than
down
to
the street?
open up motherfucking Nathan's across the street?
Yeah.
What is that?
Hi, we've been here for, you know, eons, but we're now out of that nada. You're gonna
First of all,
we've had this conversation, and it's like, to your point, fuck you. I mean, everybody, look, I don't know the owner of the Nathans. If it's a franchise, I applaud a small business owner and all that. But it's just one of those.
But the audacity.
Right. It's just like, tú me vas a venir a decir que of all the places on La Cuarenta that you could open up, you opened up like a block away from Nathan's.
That's like cis middle class white guy audacity.
Yeah, that's like mediocre white guy. Like
mediocre
yeah,
white
yeah,
guy
yeah.
audacity. That's
like if right now I was to open up a store called, you know, Willie of Westchester and open across from Martha Miami.
Exactly.
You know, I mean,
like,
come on.
What the fucking audacity. I could not believe that shit. And it took forever to build too. So I was like, oh, maybe they ran out of, I got for a mile. I was like, maybe they ran out of money. Maybe it's not going to go up or whatever.
I thought the same thing too for a while. I was like, well, tal vez they ran out of funding and they're not going to open it up. But no, they opened up. I mean, look, again, you know what? I don't want anybody's business to fail at the end of the day. So, you know what? Much luck and success.
I will be taking my business,
but
where I've always taken it to. Arbetters fucking hot dogs.
Much love and success, but I will not be frequenting their establishment. You know, anybody else wants to go there, knock yourself out. Pero por me, no thank you, baby.
No. Not into it. Not into
Nay.
it at all.
I am good.
Can we talk about the Bennifer reboot, please?
You know what? Yes, we can.
I think this is all.
I've been wanting to talk about this for like 3 weeks.
I think
and I always
it's
forget.
a giant PR stunt.
Really?
So J-Lo's PR...
You don't think there's something about two people who were together finding comfort in each other?
Sure. First of all, I hate Ben Affleck, and I'm just gonna put it out. Like, I'm just gonna.
That hurt.
I'm sorry. He sucks.
That hurt.
He sucks.
I am a genuine Ben Affleck fan.
I understand.
I understand when people are not. I get it. I understand why they say that.
He's like a garbage person, though.
But well, I don't know about all that. But
I mean, if the Phoenix tattoo is not enough for you to just like move on from that, then I can't help you.
You know that I forget about that all the time.
How? It's all over his back.
Well, but he's not like shirtless all the time.
I don't know. Well,
the thing with me is that I've always liked Ben Affleck because one of my favorite movies is Chasing Amy.
Okay.
As you can see from
you're
looking at it right there. And I've just always loved that movie. And he always seemed like somebody who, to me, I mean, he's been in rehab a couple times, so it's not gonna happen. But I was always like, I would love to just have like a beer with him. Like he seems like somebody who I would just want to like hang out with and just like be like stupid with, right? For like a night of drunken fun or whatever.
Yeah.
So. And I do think he has talent,
I'm not negating his talent. I'm not negating his
I know
talent as a writer, as a director.
I know people like to shit on him a lot, but I think he's talented.
You're good at your job, but being good at your job does not make
no. Fair enough.
Good human. But anyway, so that I'm prefacing by saying that I don't care for Ben Affleck.
Okay.
But J-Lo's PR team is one of the best in Hollywood.
Oh, whatever she's paying them, it's not enough.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not enough. Yeah.
So I've always been the J-Lo and A-Rod stan. I think that they really have, like, I really think that of all, she does not.
Really?
She doesn't have the best track record with men, clearly.
This is true.
Which is fine. Like, I don't need her to be with one person.
Who among us?
Yeah. No, I don't need her to be like, I don't need her to do that. But I really do think like
we can't all be Steph and David.
I do think that like that was her lobster, to use a friend's term. And I think that
really, you think A-Rod was her lobster?
I think there's something like think about.
See,
he's not a good person either. I would say that.
I would think it would be Mark Anthony. Just because I feel like they keep circling each other, you know what I mean?
They have kids.
Well,
it's
now they have
kids.
No, but even before they had kids, like I felt they always kept like, oh, let's do a song together. I'm gonna produce your album.
Mm-hmm.
Blah blah. Like they always kind of were like circling each other even before they got married. I feel like, and now obviously they have kids, so they're always in each other's lives. But
I mean, maybe, but A-Rod did nothing for like 3 years, but be like the number one.
Be her purse holder?
Yeah. Then be like the number one fan in the J-Lo fan club, because he really was.
That is true.
He really was. So I feel this is my theory, and this is just a theory, and it could be completely off base, but this is my theory. Like you're not a Bravo person. So no. I have like a perspective into this because I am a Bravo person.
Okay.
When it was revealed on the Southern Charm reunion that Madison LaCroix was getting DMs from A-Rod, like it went public. Like there was nowhere to hide that. There was nowhere to hide that. And Jennifer Lopez is not going to be embarrassed.
No.
So she had to walk away from the relationship, which good. You
should.
Right.
Yeah,
you should.
If this is what's actually happening, then
and you should. And I'm sure that I also have this theory with celebrities in general, because they live in a different world than we do, and their rules are a totally different
very
game.
Different, yeah.
I do believe a lot of people just have agreements of
open relationship type
open
situation.
relationships, as long as you don't embarrass each other.
Right.
Which is, I think, Chloe's deal. Which I think is Chloe's deal with Tristan.
And I will say that's healthy if that works for you.
Right.
And everybody's on the same page.
I just think it has to come from the thing that they're in the public eye, and people are always throwing, men and women, whoever, are throwing themselves at them. So it might be the most realistic and healthy way to have a relationship, considering that.
But don't embarrass me.
Right. Which is kind of what I feel the same way about like Chloe and Tristan. So that's J-Lo is not going to be embarrassed. So J-Lo walked away from the relationship. I really do think that is like the true love of her life, though.
Really?
I think, because think about it.
Do you think that he's the true love of her life, or she's of his?
Maybe the reverse. But think about like the PR moves that have been done in the last couple of weeks. Like the first thing she did was went to not even like the body wasn't even cold yet, and she was hanging out with Ben. Did he post a TBT out of nowhere?
That's true.
Come the fuck on. Then she was like there was pictures of her a couple of days ago sitting having lunch with Mark Anthony, and
her father of her children.
Right,
fine.
I get
that
it.
One
and
fine.
Today she's moving to LA and she was seen touring the school that Ben Affleck's kids go to when her kids go to Ballet and Carrollton.
Oh, she's moving to LA?
Allegedly.
Aww.
So
I still haven't run into her at Empanada Harry's.
she goes to Empanada. She
Havana
schleps-
Harry. Sorry, Havana Harry.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say she schleps to Kendall to get empanadas.
Havana Harry is not that far from here. I mean, it's not like
Closer than Kendall.
well, but you know, she's incognito.
Well, yeah. Anyway, so
She can't go anywhere without being noticed.
I just I smell a PR stunt. And
I don't
I just
think
think
you're
that
wrong.
this is all roads are gonna lead back to A-Rod. And I think that
Give it time.
She's just doing not the apology tour, but whatever
I'm moving on with my life.
Yeah, I'm moving on with my life tour.
Okay.
And then it will eventually work its way back to A-Rod.
Well, if it happens,
And that is
you heard it here first.
That is my prediction.
I don't know. I like them together, Bennifer. I don't know why.
I feel like they're chaotic.
You know what? I never felt that way. I felt like all the chaos that people perceive of them was media inflicted. It was because I really think that they were the first couple in a long time that the media just got in a frenzy
carried away with them.
You know, and so they couldn't do anything without the camera, the paparazzi just showing up and shit. So I don't know. I like them together,
I just feel
but
like Ben has too much. If Ben, and God bless Jennifer Garner, really, because if Ben has fucked up a lot, and it's very public, all his fuck ups. He has a gambling addiction. He's
alcohol.
He got kicked out of Monte Carlo for counting cards.
He's not well, quote unquote.
Yeah, he's not a healthy person.
Right.
So I just feel like he is chaos, and J-Lo is such a machine. The machine of J-Lo is such a well-oiled machine.
That J-Lo machine does not stop.
Yeah, to her credit, her work ethic is incredible. She's always doing fucking
nobody's
something.
given her anything.
No, absolutely not. She's worked hard for everything that she's gotten, and
she'll be damned if she's going to lose
absolutely.
it.
Yeah. And I just feel like she's better than him, and she doesn't need him, and I think she knows that.
I just think she's one of these women who just doesn't like to be alone.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Bottom line,
like Jennifer Aniston.
I mean, to your point, well, but that's just because Jennifer Aniston is very dry.
I like her.
Oh no, I meant literally. Have you seen the amount of moisture products that woman hawks?
Yeah.
That woman hawks me to Aveeno, Smart Water. Her eyes are dry. She takes collagen. Why is Jennifer Aniston so dehydrated?
Because women of a certain age need to be concerned with hydration.
But can she just drink water? I mean,
yeah, you can.
Okay, I've never seen
Also,
anybody hawk that much hydration products ever.
Also, endorsement money is the best money. Product endorsement money is the best.
But at what point did everybody get together and decide, you know what, Jennifer Aniston, dehydration. That's going to be her spiel.
She could be hawking something completely terrible, at least.
Well, but I mean, she could hawk I don't know, Pelotons or something, Oh no, but no, because then she sweats and she gets dehydrated.
Mm-hmm. There you go. That's why it doesn't work for the brand.
If I saw her, I'd be very worried. I'd be like, you look frail. Are you okay? Don't make any sudden elbow movements. Your arm's gonna fall off. You're so dehydrated. But speaking of dehydration, it's time for our last soda.
I mean, so look how you did that.
It's like I've been doing this for 4 years.
Oh my gosh.
So, would you like to go first, or
you can go?
Or okay.
Or well, no, I'll go.
I like to let the guest go first. Plus, you're a lady.
Gracias. I'm giving it to Meghan and Harry.
Meghan and Harry as a unit.
As a unit, I'm giving it to Meghan and Harry. I mean, like I said, I've really respected their journey thus far. I think the name is cute, and I think the British press can suck it.
I like it. It's a very succinct last soda.
Yeah. And I am looking forward to seeing their evolution. I was thinking in my head, I'm like, what's the word? Evolvement? No, that's not the word, you dumbass.
If you had said evolvement, I probably would not have corrected you, because I would have been like, sure, yeah, it's the word. Of course
I'm
it is.
very much looking forward to seeing the path that they take.
Their journey.
Their journey.
Yeah,
let's make it not to use a quote from the Bachelor franchise, but
their evolvement. I'm going to use evolvement. That's it. It's going on a t-shirt, guys. Meghan and Harry's evolvement. That's the next shirt. So my last soda, as I mentioned last week, obviously we're in Pride Month.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna try to give my last soda every week to something Pride related, related to the LGBT, as you said, the Alphabet Mafia.
The Alphabet Mafia.
So this week I'm going to go
I
ahead.
didn't come up with that term. That's a TikTok term.
Well, the first time I ever saw it was Natalie Morales, the actress.
Okay.
Yeah, she mentioned it, and she's part of the community.
Yeah.
Also, if you're listening, Natalie, we'd love to have you on the show. Went to the same high school that we did. So my last soda this week goes to Brian Sims. And I don't know if you know who that is.
I don't.
He is a member of the Pennsylvania House of Representatives. He's an openly gay man. He's 42 years old. He's hot. I've seen
We
him.
need more hot politicians.
I have seen him at many a Bear Week in P-Town. And he, to his credit, you know, I mean, he's a big burly guy, very attractive. But what he'll do is when he's during Bear Week, like he'll host fundraisers. So it'll be like, you know, come to a cocktail hour with Brian Sims, and you know the money goes to either his campaign or to a cause or what have you.
We do need more hot politicians.
But the reason, yes, and I will show you a picture of him. But the reason,
it's in the Senate, it's John Ossoff and Cory Booker, and that's it. And John Ossoff, like, por lo menos, because like he's not everybody's cup of tea. So
yeah, that's kind of it, isn't it? Wait, no, isn't Chuck Schumer?
Chuck Schumer's not hot.
No, they said. I thought we were going gay. Sorry.
No,
never mind.
No.
Hot.
Cory Booker isn't gay either.
Oh, that's true.
He's dating
Never
Rosario
mind.
Dawson. No, I was just thinking. I'm just saying hot. Oh, they're not together.
They haven't been together for a while now.
She was at the inauguration.
Well, I mean, just because
Whatever.
you're
I
invited.
derailed your last one. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. Also, Rosario Dawson, love to have you on the show. I'm just putting it out there. Who else do we want on the show? But no, he. So you know, many times we hear about these politicians who are very selfish and don't do things and whatever. Well, he actually gave one of his kidneys to one of his dying neighbors.
Oh my god.
Who also happened to be gay. And so I'm looking at the article now, so apologies. So Sims revealed he was a living donor last May. He previously kept the information private, but went public in response to a COVID-19 scare in the House of Representatives, because obviously if he's down one kidney and all that, so he's at risk. But I again, we hear so many times of these politicians who don't really do much in general, right? I mean, across the board,
or commit crimes.
Well, that too. But here's this guy, who's a politician and not only quote unquote did something right, but gave one of his freaking kidneys up. And so I'm gonna go ahead and salute that, because I think that's that's commendable.
When you said donated a kidney, I'm like, to Selena Gomez.
This is what he looks like.
Oh, yes, sir.
Yes, and very nice guy. I mean, I don't know him, but I've said hi to him and whatever. We're at a bar at the same time. Nice guy, just in my experience. So yeah, so that concludes episode 160. Hope you guys listened, laughed, and learned. It's still weird when I have to do it, because when Darian's not here. Thank you so much, Steph, for coming and stepping in. It's a double-edged sword, because I miss Darian, but I love having you, so I don't know which, I
mean, we could have a three-way.
It's like, pero let me tell you after dark. That's the OnlyFans. That would be great. We just do it like literally like it would be the most misleading thing in the world to start an OnlyFans and be like, listen to us have 3 ways every week, and it's just literally us with a third co-host every week. That'd be great. I'm gonna look into that. But yep. So I hope you listen, last and learned, and oh god, how do we end this?
You have to
don't
grab
forget
a jalapeno.
And don't forget your your pastelito, your croqueta, and your cafecito.
Oh, cafecito,
and
sorry.
that was episode 160 with our fantastic special guest, Steph. Yay! All right, mi gente, cuídense. Bye. Pero Let Me Tell You is co-hosted by Darian Borges and Ismaeliano, produced by Ismaeliano, and our theme, Pero Let Me Tell You Freestyle, is composed by Michael Angelo Lomlaplex, the official gay guy. And don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review on iTunes.